For our dessert, we are going to make a very light, very delicious angel food cake. One of the most important things you can do about your angel food cake is to sift your flour and your sugar together. This is not a step to skip, and when the recipe says 4 times, we mean 4 times. Alrighty, so we have some cake flour. This is not self-rising for you Great British Baking Show fans. This is just regular old cake flour and superfine sugar. You can find superfine sugar in the grocery store. It's just been milled a lot finer, and it's going to help make our cake not so gritty. So we're going to mix this together, make sure all of the lumps are out. It also helps to aerate the flour, making it nice and light, so it will fold into our egg whites a lot easier. If you don't have one of these cool little things, you can also do it in a sieve or a strainer and just tap it through. We're going to do this 4 times. A little trick I forgot to show you. When you're sifting flour, sometimes it can be difficult to get it back into the top of the sifter. So give yourself a little piece of parchment paper like this and sift it directly onto the parchment. Then I can always bring my bowl back and bring up the 2 sides of the parchment paper, and then I can go right back into the top of my sifter. Then we'll parchment back out, and then sift again. Okay, next we're going to get our equipment ready. So for our angel food cake, we want to whip some egg whites. When we whip egg whites in a stand mixer, we want to make sure that our bowl is very, very clean. Any sort of fat or soap residue will actually prevent our egg whites from reaching their full volumatic potential. So we like to use a little vinegar on a little paper towel, and we are going to just wipe out the inside of the bowl, make sure there's none of that residue. Even if it looks clean, you want to go ahead and do this. We're even going to clean our whisk. This will all help our egg whites to reach their full potential. All right. We are ready to whip our egg whites. So we have our nice clean bowl of our stand mixer and our nice clean whisk. And now we're going to add our egg whites. So our egg whites, always do them by volume, simply because eggs vary from medium to large to extra large. We always want to do it by volume. So this is 1.5 cups of room temperature egg whites. Just a little tip, cold egg whites separate easier, but room temperature eggs whip up better. So we're going to add our egg whites. We're going to add some cream of tartar. That's going to help stabilize our egg whites as they whip up, and a pinch of salt. We're going to do the same thing and add flavor. Whip this up. And we're going to whip these on high. Until they achieve what we call soft peaks, where we take the whisk, kind of stir it around, we turn it upside down, and the peak kind of falls over on itself. Okay, so my egg whites have been whipping away, and now I just want to show you what I mean by soft peaks. So when we stand them up, they just have a nice soft little fall off to the side. And now we're going to put them back onto the stand mixer, and we're going to slowly incorporate our sugar. We had half of the sugar in with our dry ingredients. The rest of the sugar is going to go in once the egg whites have kind of formed soft peaks. So it's going to make them super glossy and super shiny, which is exactly what we're looking for. Once they become nice and soft and shiny, we will then carefully fold in our dry ingredients and add our flavorings. Okay, so our egg whites are nice and thick and shiny. Now we're going to add our flavorings. We have the zest of 2 lemons, wonderful, wonderful addition, and some vanilla. We're going to let that incorporate. Then we're going to take it off the stand mixer and carefully fold in our sifted dry ingredients. So we're ready to fold in our dry ingredients. One little tip I like to tell people is don't ever take your whisk out and bang it on the side of your bowl. You're just helping to deflate those egg whites. So I just like to tap it off on my hand. And now we're going to put it into a bigger bowl. It helps to fold them in a little easier. I'm just using the bowl I had my flowers in. Look how nice and shiny and firm those are. And now we're going to add our dry ingredients in quarters. We're going to start with about a quarter of them, put them in here, and I'll show you how we fold in our ingredients. So we're cutting down through the center of our egg whites and folding over while turning the bowl. So I've incorporated all of my flour into my egg whites, and I always say it's actually better to see just a few lumps here and there than it is to over mix your batter. You don't want to develop a lot of gluten, and you don't want to deflate those egg whites. So now I'm going to put them into my ungreased tube pan. Do the best you can. You will get it on the sides, it's okay. I like to just put in a few here. And then eventually we will smooth the top down. Just like that. Try to do it as evenly as possible. And then you can go back around and smooth the top down. And one last little bit. And now I just like to take my spatula and kind of run it around, make sure the batter is kind of all even level. And then it's ready to bake. So our angel food cake has come out of the oven. Look how beautiful it is. It is nice and springs back to the touch. But now we want to let it cool. And when we let it cool, we want to let it cool upside down. If not, the weight of it as it cools will actually compact it and it will not be nice and light. So we are going to invert it on top of a bottle. We're using a toasted sesame oil bottle because we found that that fits. But you can use whatever kind of bottle fits. Make sure it is tightly closed and is not super cheap plastic because it will melt. So we're going to invert our cake, and then we're going to line up the hole, and then we're going to let it sit on top of our bottle and cool until it is cool to room temperature. Then we can turn it back upside down, and then we can go around the outside with our knife, and we can lift our cake out. All right, moment of truth. Our cake has cooled in its pan, upside down. Make sure also, if I didn't tell you earlier, make sure it's not near a corner or someplace that you can easily knock over, or you have a pet that can knock over. It's happened, and that's the cake. So, kept all of its volume, which we love. That's the whole point of an angel food cake. And now we're going to take a serrated knife, and we are going to go around the outside and release it from the sides of the tube pan. There you go. And now, we take our hand and look how beautifully that cake comes out. Now, what I like to do also is to take my knife and go right around the bottom, just slightly. You can serve it right out of here, but I want to turn it upside down on top of its cake stand so that we can serve it with that beautiful lemon cream cheese frosting. And now we just have to get it off the center tube. So can't fit my big serrated knife in there, so we're just going to use a little paring knife. Just remember that the tube is at an angle, and we're just going to kind of gently move it around and release it off the center. And then hopefully we should be able to lift our beautiful angel food cake off of our tube pan, and you can set it on a cake stand. You can turn it upside down if it looks better, and then we're going to frost it with our beautiful lemon cream cheese frosting.